Hakuo listeners, let's learn sumo. I'm Clayton. Welcome to the podcast. You can join me on X and Instagram at Let's Learn Sumo, even YouTube, where this is restreamed in audio. There are also some video episodes on YouTube if you want to go across over there. You can drop me a message or a comment on any of those platforms. If you like my content, you can donate to my Kimboshi fund. Help me pay for a few of the subscriptions and keep the channel going. The Buy Me a Coffee link is in the comments, or you can just enjoy the pod. Welcome to day one of the Hatsu Basho, the January Grand Sumo Tournament for 2026. If this is your first time here with me, welcome. You can listen to previous episodes and lessons, information on my library of episodes. You can learn more about sumo there. So let's have a look how we got to day one of the January Basho. You'll notice a few changes of shikona. One in particular brought attention was Haku Oho. He is now known as Haku no Fuji. This pretty much completes the takeover of the Isegahama stable over the old Miyagino stable, which was owned by Yokozuna Hakuho. Now, remember, Hakuho had a bit of a scandal. They moved all of the Miyagino boys to Isegahama while they worked out what they were going to do. Hakuho himself was also over there for about a year. Then obviously Isegahama Oyakata, he retired at the mandatory age of 65, and Terunofuji took over the role of Isegahama Oyakata. Hakuho, he wasn't overly happy and decided that he'd had enough. They weren't going to reopen his stable, or not in a time frame that he wanted, so he retired from the JSA. You'll see him now on social media working around trying to promote his own brand of sumo, trying to get sumo into the Olympics. So the former Yokozuna, now Isegahama Oyakata Terunofuji, he has otherwise taken over these boys and has imposed his will on all of them except Enho. The former Miyagino wrestlers, who all kind of used the partial Hakuho name, are now being changed to the Isegahama shikona names, and they all come with the Fuji suffix to their names. Thus, Hakuoho now is Haku no Fuji. So that then completes the takeover. They are now permanently there. Anyway, the two Yokozunas, they are troubled with a few niggling injuries. Onosato, he had a bit of a shoulder dislocation, or at least partially, back in November. Watch this space, how he goes over the next 12 months, as shoulder dislocations tend to continue to occur once you've done it once. That is not good news for his long-term health. Hoshoryu, he reported a little bit of fluid on his knee before the start of the tournament due to a slight tear in one of the meniscus, or one of those in his knee. Not much to be done except strapping and rest at this stage. Will it trouble him? Well, we all know that knees are a big issue with all sumo wrestlers. Kodazakura Ozeki, he has right knee issues, we know, but he's been training fairly well as well. So let's look at the blockbuster day one matchups on the Torikumi. It was set up for a big day. Last match of the day, Hoshoryu, he faced Komusubi, former Sekiwake, Wakamoto Haru. Now remember, last time they faced, Wakamoto Haru took a Kimboshi Gold Star win over the Yokozuna in November with a big henka. Big sideways movement. Not an easy win tonight for the Yokozuna, but a good technical win. Yokozuna got one hand grip on Wakamoto Haru's belt, used the other one on the body. He tried to use it to pull Wakamoto Haru around him and over. Wakamoto Haru was on one leg, but he did defend it. And went around Hoshoryu's body under pressure. He still had a good grip on the belt, which saved him. Wakamoto Haru got himself two hands on the belt, but once Hoshoryu broke Wakamoto Haru's balance, he was enough to get both hands on the belt, used it to good effect, drove hard to get Wakamoto Haru back to the bales, forced him over the bales, and they tumbled into the alley. Yori Tayoshi, frontal crush-out victory for the Yokozuna. Hoshoryu, no sign of trouble there. Onosato, the other Yokozuna, he faced Ichi Yamamoto. Now, I thought Ichi might have had a chance here. As big jump from Magashira 8 up to the Joy meat grinder position in Magashira 1 for Ichi Yamamoto after his 11-4 in November. Onosato, he's got a few questions around that shoulder fitness, as I said. Well, there was no question tonight. It was over in a blink of an eye. Ichi Yamamoto's tactics need a little bit of a reboot, or his ring sense, one or the other. Ichi Yamamoto did a good frontal tachi-eye, defended the big hit from Onosato, but he just kind of left himself there in front of the Yokozuna, who hit the gas and drove Ichi back and over easily. Oshidashi, frontal push-out, sigh of relief for the Yokozuna Onosato. Kodazakura, Ozeki 1 East, he faced the newcomer from Isagahama, Yoshino Fuji, remember, formerly Kusano, now taken on the Fuji suffix at Isagahama. He took a kimboshi from Onosato and beat Ayanishiki last tournament, but Yoshino Fuji, he got a slap down for the Ozeki last tournament, didn't beat him. Kodazakura, he looks like he's got his balance back. He moved well on his feet, and that was the determining factor. Yoshino Fuji, he drove in hard, forced Kodazakura back towards the bales, but Kodazakura got himself a left rear grip as Yoshino Fuji drove forward. He moved well to the side. Bit of a Dashinage open throw of Yoshino Fuji over the bales. They called it an Otkuridashi rear push out, but really did look like a Dashinage open throw. But either way, got Kodazakura the win there. Ayanishiki, at his newly minted Ozeki rank, he faced the ever-dangerous Ura. Ura, with his developing orthodoxy in his sumo, taking a bit more success than his tricks otherwise, comes up to Magashira 2. Ayanishiki, however, he seemed to be pushing himself to exhaustion in training before this Basho. New tactics, perhaps, in his training, trying to build a bit of long-term stamina. Lost badly to Hoshoryu in the all-stables training, so let's see how his stamina goes this tournament. He also seems pretty much unbeatable, and if watching all those replays from November, it's clear that thrusting and pushing at Ayanishiki is not working. They all tried it. Ura, however, he had a plan to get in low and try and get in close, but Ayanishiki, he knew it was coming. He did everything to keep Ura back at arm's length. Ura even looked like he went for a leg pick, but he was miles away, had no chance of getting it. Eventually, Ura got an arm around the neck and the body of Ayanishiki, but Ayanishiki just drove him back and over the bales. Ura ran out of space as he was trying to pull Ayanishiki over, but they flew into the alley and landed in there. Yoritayashi, frontal crushdown win for the Shin Ozeki Ayanishiki. Still can't be beaten there. Former Ozeki, now Sekiwake Kirishima, finding his way back up into Sanyaku with his promotion from Magashira 2. Remember, he had an 11-4 in November. Special prize, finding a little bit of form. Can he keep it going? Wakataka Kage, look, he had a pretty poor 2025. Injuries plaguing him. Did his neck, I should say, in September against Takayasu. So he's looking to improve in 2026. I must say, I saw him on the dojo tonight. His shoulders and neck area do not look as developed in muscle mass around that area. So perhaps the neck injury has really backed him off the weightlifting that he was doing previously. Anyway, Wakataka Kage, good touchy eye, but Wakataka Kage, he went for the belt, missed it completely. Kirishima's touchy eye has improved. It is sharp. He just followed Wakataka Kage to the bales, forced him back and over. Oshidashi, easy victory there. Takanosho, I should say, took on Sekiwake Takayasu. Takayasu, he eked out an 8-7 Kachikoshi on the last day of November, so he gets himself a little promotion up to Sekiwake. Takanosho, he had a pretty poor tournament in the meat grinder Magashira 1 in the Joy. In November, he could only get himself a 6-9. So tonight, good touchy eye as Takayasu delivered a slap on Takanosho. He likes to throw that slap at the touchy eye. Takayasu has a left body inside. He drives Takanosho back to the bales. Takanosho's back foot's actually in the bale extension right at the back. He's leaning forward. He's got his hips back. They are two bulldozers holding each other against the bales. Takayasu just wins the battle at the end. He pushed down as Takanosho's feet go back over the bales and went down oshitayoshi. Haku no Fuji, he faced former Sekiwake Oho. Now remember we said Haku Oho. It's now Haku no Fuji. Two big guys. Big touchy-eye as Haku no Fuji defends it. They lock up. They both get the belt. Haku no Fuji has a double grip left in and right outside grip. Oho, he only has the body double inside grip, and he takes Haku no Fuji, I've got to get used to this, Haku no Fuji to the bales. Haku no Fuji is right on the bales. He's defending mightily, both feet on his tippy toes defending. He then shifts his weight, pulls hard and moves around, really great lateral movement, and thrust Oho down with his belt grip. It was a fantastic move by Haku no Fuji on his new shikona Uwatanage win. That one I have marked for one of my Fight of the Year for 2026. By the way, if you haven't seen it, the Fight of the Year episode is on my YouTube channel in video. Lots of replays of my picks from 2025. Easy win for Daisho at Megashira 4 over Atami Fuji as he just met at the Tachi-Eye, stepped back, gave a few thrusts, let Atami Fuji's momentum take him over the bales. They called it a Tsukiotoshi thrust down, but it was more like just opening the barn door and letting the big man through. Tsurunumi, he faced Tamawashi at Megashira 5. Tsurunumi got himself a left front belt grip as Tamawashi forced him back. Tsurunumi broke Tamawashi's balance, used his grip to pull and thrust Tamawashi across and over the bales. This is a pretty good move. Shitata Dashinage, underarm open belt throw. Hirodumi, he easily drove Onakatsu over the bales, got in close and under the armpit of Onakatsu. Oshoma, he faced a furiously fast attack from Fujinokawa. He just absorbed it all, and as he retreated, he got an arm hold at the last moment, pulled Fujinokawa over the bales. Kotanage, arm lock throw. Shodai got a grab on Kimbozan's arm early, used it to chase Kimbozan over the bales, Oshidashi. Roga beat Gonayama, Oshidashi. Toki Hayate was in trouble early to Kota Shoho, but recovered for an Oshidashi win. Nishiki Fuji did it easily over Chiyoshima, Oshidashi. Midori Fuji lost to Abi. Look, he really pretty much just lost the Tachi-Eye. Abi got himself a slightly angled Tachi-Eye, got his left arm to the rear of Midori Fuji's belt and executed an Uwatanage overhand belt throw to take Midori Fuji down to the dirt. Tobizaru, he survived a bit of a close call to grab and pull Tomokaze down Hikiyatoshi when he was on the bales. Shishi, he had a pretty good fight with Mitakeyumi. It was a good fight, wore him down for an Oshidashi victory. Asakoryu, well, look, this was a funny one. He gave away a victory to Ryuden. It was a good touchy-eye as Asakoryu defended with his arms. He tried to pull down on Ryuden. Asakoryu then got himself a left inside belt as Ryuden got himself a right outside belt. Asakoryu used the arm pull, dragged Ryuden around and down. The Gunbai went to Asakoryu, but the judges called a mono-e, a judges conference. The Shimpans got up, and the replay showed that Asakoryu, when he tried to pull Ryuden down forward, he got a big handful of top knot. And as a result, they've called that a foul. They've reversed the decision. Hansoku is the Kimarite, a foul, and he's disqualified for the hair pull. Ryuden gets the victory. Asanayama, he lost his first bout back to Makuchi to Oshumi by Watanabe at the bales, and debutants Asahakoryu and Hatsuyama faced off at the bottom of the Torakumi. Asahakoryu won by Oshidashi. He defended the thrusting and chased Hatsuyama over the bales. He did say in his interview after the match that he was quite impressed by the crowd and the number of people watching, the atmosphere in the stadium, so he was quite impressed by all of that, and so good luck to him on his journey in the top division. So that's all for day one, folks. Aya Nishiki steamroll trains along, both Yokozunas fighting well, and both Ozekis doing the job. Join me again, Hakioi, let's learn sumo.